What's going on, Grizz Nation? It's Michael Wallace, Kelcey Wright Johnson right there. And we got a special version, special edition of the Grizzlies Summer League Game Day update variety right here. Kelcey, we're jumping right into the games. The crew gets started today out in Salt Lake City. It's a three-team sort of four-day tournament. You play the Jazz twice. They have two Summer League teams, the Jazz do, and then it's San Antonio and the Grizzlies. But first and foremost, when you look at getting these guys back acclimated into the flow of Summer League action, what are some of the storylines you see developing for this Grizzlies team?
I mean, Mike, it's a really interesting kind of dynamic that this team has. There's not a lot of guys who are going in with Summer League experience because there wasn't the Summer League last year. So some names that you're going to see that were on the Grizzlies this year, Desmond Bane, Xavier Tillman, Killian Tilly, they didn't have Summer League last year coming in as rookies. So those guys are coming in with the same experience as guys like Zaire Williams or Santi Aldama. So it's going to be really interesting to see who kind of steps up. Some of the guys who do have that Summer League experience are guys who were on the hustle last year, who played for the G League team here in Memphis. So I think they're going to be kind of like those leaders when it comes to what to expect, what kind of basketball it's going to be, their first kind of, taste at professional playing for, those younger guys like Zaire. And then obviously the guys who played on the Grizzlies last year don't have the experience in Summer League, but they do have that experience with the Grizzlies, their philosophies and their plays, which they kind of run all through. So it is going to be kind of interesting who steps up into that leadership role.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, and the thing about it, though, is that as you look at the course of the two summer leagues, you're going to see some transition with the roster. Some guys that are going to be available in Las Vegas might not be available initially in Salt Lake City and vice versa. But the thing about it is that what we do know is that the last time these Grizzlies got together for a summer league in this format, they walked away with a championship. That was Brandon Clark's team. He was the MVP of the Las Vegas Summer League. So Taylor Jenkins coached Summer League that year. He's not going to be the main guy on the sidelines, but at the end of the day, he's going to obviously have some influence there. So the leadership void will be one that ultimately gets filled. But I love the fact that we're going to look at, the Desmond Banes, the Xavier Tillmans, those guys who had night in, night out rotation minutes for the Grizzlies are going to come in and set the tone in terms of what to expect. And then we'll get to see, Zaire and Santi and those guys that'll be coming in as fresh faces. So it's going to be exciting. I think, as we talk about this, though, Kelcey, in terms of separate this in terms of the first-year vets who are returning, first and second-year vets, and then we'll talk about the young guys that are just coming in. But when you look at a Desmond Bane and a Xavier Tillman, what would you like to see them work on? Or where do you think their growth potential, as Taylor Jenkins would say, their greatest growth potential will be coming into this summer league?
I think both of them look at consistency. I felt like this year they were put in positions where they had to play, and that had a lot to do with injury. So they both started a couple games and they were put into that. And you could see kind of, I don't know if it was nerves or it was, that first year in the NBA, but consistency is where I want to see them both grow. Desmond Bane has said it time and time again that yes, he's a shooter, but he does want to be more of a driver too, and show that he is kind of like that 2-3 way scorer. So that will be big for him to kind of develop that over the summer league, these 2 weeks, both in Salt Lake and in Vegas, depending on when we're able to see him. And then Xavier, I think he just needs reps. I think he's a really good big, but he had 2 bigs in front of him and then 3 when Jaren came back. So I think he just needs to get reps out there to get his confidence up. And I think we're going to see a really exciting Xavier Tillman by, August 15th when they play their last game against the Bulls.
And I'm going to start with Xavier Tillman and go back to Desmond Bane. But I think this is going to be key for Xavier because now, with the moves that the Grizzlies made, moving out Jonas Valanciunas, bringing in Steven Adams, Xavier Tillman is still going to be in that backup role potentially, but he's also going to have more of a scoring opportunity when he does come in because that second unit, however it shakes out and however it develops, is going to need a frontline scorer. And we did see Xavier Tillman expand his three-point range. He hit some huge threes, particularly in the play-in and playoff games when he did get his minutes. He also was able to do some things around the basket. We know he's a smart player. I just think his confidence level is only going to grow when he's a featured guy. Remember, Desmond and Xavier didn't get Summer League last year, so they're still Summer League rookies. So I think they're going to go into this with their eyes open and their opportunities right there. As far as Desmond, this is a guy I want to see how he plays with the ball in his hands, as you talked about. Can he create? Can he be a playmaker? Dylan Brooks talked about how he wanted to work on playmaking last year coming into last season. Desmond Bane, as a shooting guard, certainly needs to be able to work on setting up other guys and also knocking down those shots. So that's going to be great. Now, let's shift. As the Summer League progresses, we're definitely going to see some of these younger guys, the new fresh faces, Zaire Williams. You were at, you followed obviously his introductory press conference. I did too. What's the most exciting thing you're looking forward to see from Zaire?
Transition. I'm excited to see how he fits into Taylor Jenkins' coaching philosophies and the plays that they run, and how the Grizzlies have such success in transition. I'm excited to see, because that's where he finds a lot of his success too. I'm excited to see those two things kind of come together and see the pieces of the puzzle fit perfectly.
And I think what's going to be key for Zaire is that this time he's not going to have, like he talked about the lob from Ja Morant and throwing the lob and those kind of things. He's not going to have a veteran point guard to set him up. So he's going to be thrown right in and have to make plays off the dribble. That was the big question. Can his ability to make plays and put the ball on the floor and create his own offense, is that something that he can do? He's going to have a target on his back whenever he does step out there in Summer League, whether it's Salt Lake City or Las Vegas, because any lottery pick is going to have a target on their backs. I'm going to see how he responds to that. The one thing I do love about Zaire is that he's not afraid of jam-packed gyms, big crowds, and pressure moments. This guy played alongside Dwayne Wade's son and LeBron James' son. He played alongside Bronny James, obviously, and Zaire Wade. So he knows with those gyms and that pressure. Sierra Canyon was a big time opportunity before he got to Stanford.
But he did mention that he has not played in front of a fan since high school.
Since high school, state championship. Yeah, yeah. It's been a minute. So he's gonna have to get used to that. But I'm just looking forward to seeing Taylor Jenkins too take the next step with this playoff team in the Grizzlies coming back. So it's going to be key. So I'm gonna be locked in. The Grizzlies have 3 games in Salt Lake City, starting today. They got another one tomorrow and then Friday, and then they shift over to Las Vegas next Monday for a 4-game sort of regular season slate in Vegas, and then they get the postseason after that. Let's see if the Grizzlies can get it done. I'm gonna be looking at the games. You're gonna be looking at them too. Follow all of our coverage. Are you excited about that?
I'm so excited. And I just wanted to mention one more thing, because we play the Jazz today. We play Jazz Blue today, Jazz White tomorrow. And if you're a big Grizzlies fan, you'll remember the name Jaleel Tripp. Yes. He was part of the Grizzlies at the beginning. He was on the G League team last year. He's on one of those Jazz teams. So it's going to be a little rivalry, I think, between, I don't know, him and Desmond, him and Zaire. I think it's going to be interesting to watch.
It is. And this is an environment Taylor Jenkins is familiar with. He and Quinn Snyder are big time friends. The Grizzlies played the Jazz in the playoffs, and then San Antonio was the place that both of those guys learned from under Greg Popovich. So a lot of familiar faces are going to be in the gym this week, and then next week it all goes wild in Las Vegas. So I'm looking forward to it. For Kelcey Wright Johnson, I'm Michael Wallace. Keep it locked on every single Grizzlies game day in the Summer League. We'll have you covered with content, and check out all of our other content at Grind City Media only on Grizzlies.com.